Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests that have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so I have John Grace on the line, and he is founder and president over at Investors Advantage Corp. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Good to be with you.
All right, so I'm excited today to do this episode. We're going to talk about your book, so we're going to get right into that. I have it here, sitting here with me, and had a chance to take a look at it last night. And we're going to make this one for everybody listening. We're going to make this short and sweet. We're going to get you 5 minutes or less into why you need to go and download this book. And I think John has a special offer for you at the end of this also. So, John, first off, what was the reason behind the book?
Well, speaking of short and sweet, Adam, that's what we tried to do here. And it's funny how things work out where you discover after the fact that apparently books these days, the ones that seem to be enjoyed the most are 100 pages or less. And this one is actually 100 pages or less. And I tried to keep the chapters very short because, you know, when we look at finance, particularly when it comes to minorities, it becomes so confusing. And the terminologies are arcane. Almost like you're trying to learn how to speak Mandarin Chinese. And then the industry, I've only been at it since 1979, so I qualify to make my observations. We get into this world of jargon, which only seems to compound the situation. And then we are often guilty, in my opinion, of calling ourselves wealth managers. And let's just be honest, in California, if you don't have less than $5 million, you're probably not wealthy. So I'm afraid that by using those kinds of terms, we turn off a lot of people, and we suggest that you're not good enough for me. You don't have enough money. Call me after you have $1 million, and then maybe I'll make time to see you. I don't like that kind of treatment. So I tried to make in fact, I took a poll of 2 different titles of the book from some people I came to meet just as the book was being finished late last year. And I said, here are my 2 options. Planning Your Financial Success is one title, and the other one is Making Finance Make Sense. And overwhelmingly, they said, oh, that first one sounds too hard. The second one sounds like something I might be willing to do. And I said, okay, that's it. Poll closed. That will be the title, and I'm really pleased with it. It looks like it's being well received.
That's awesome. What's one of the, and I know there's many things, even though it's 100 pages, just to be clear, this isn't 100 pages of fluff. This is like nuts and bolts, page by page. The reader, I noticed the way you put it together. It's not made to waste anybody's time. Like, you're getting a lot of information packed into that compact size so that hopefully the readers out there that pick up this book can move the needle on their financial situation and really start making those incremental improvements that lead to long-term success. What's one of the top, let's just say, stories out of the book that you care to share, just to give the audience that are listening to this or watching this right now a flavor for your style of writing and the way that you give the information?
This is a job you can do. That's the good question. Think of it along the lines of planning a wedding or planning a vacation. How much time do you spend? Quite a bit of time, but those don't happen often, right? They happen occasionally. What I'm saying is that this is maybe the benefit of the pandemic right now is that you have more time. You're not so distracted by trying to get somewhere on time. You don't have to wax and wane over the traffic. Now you maybe have the time to focus on your finances. And to look at the first time, ask yourself the question, if I don't make sure there is sufficient money behind door number 1, who's going to do it? And you know the answer. It's your job to do for you. past President Donald Trump talked about America first. I have some issues with that personally, but let's let that go. What I'm saying is, who's more important than you? And it's wonderful when we hear about the economy being very strong, but what that typically means is that we're, as Americans, doing what we do so well: spend, baby, spend. Spend with cash, spend with credit, just keep spending. Now, that might be good for the economy, but how's it good for you? And so that's what I'm saying. I wanted to say, look, this is a beach entrance. You can get wet here. Understand that it is your responsibility as a consumer in these United States of America to put enough money behind door number one. And you have to figure out how much money that is. But if all you do is start with $50 a month, $100 a month, 10% of your earnings, that's a beginnings for you to be able to put the plan together to discover you probably, in not that long ago, $100 was really meaningful. $1 million was really meaningful. Now you're hearing about billions and trillions, which is really mind-boggling. The point is, what is your number? Is it $1 million? Is it 2.5 million? Is it 3 million? And now we want you to see the target. And then the question becomes, how can you get from point A to point B, kind of like getting on an airplane? Here's where I am. Here's where I'm going. How can I arrive to my destination on time safely? So we're trying to build for some building blocks here, Adam, for people to get a little confidence that this is work that they can do, and it really isn't that complicated. It's certainly not rocket science.
Oh man, John. So once you and I get going, I already know, but we're gonna have to cut it here today for this episode. If somebody wants to pick up a copy of the book, what's the best way for them to do that, and just to connect with you and your firm overall?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, if they provide us with their email address, I'll send them a copy, or actually the message comes from Amazon, but they have a Kindle version and it'll show up as a message from Amazon, and you can read it on your phone. If you like a paperback, eBay, I think it's $16, Amazon, it's $15. So understand that those price points, I won't be getting rich off of this book, but I tried to make the prices and the substance, as I say, more like a beach entrance so that people can see, I can do this. Let's get started. And we have a QR code in the book, Adam, so that people who are do-it-yourselfers can use their phones to see how much money am I going to need to make work optional in my time frame, and what happens if one breadwinner dies too soon.
And where should they email you at?
jgrace@ybpoor.com or contact@ybpoor. That's spelled out 3 words, YWHYBBE, poor, POOR.com.
All right. And I'm going to make sure that my team puts that in the show notes, but let's give it to them one more time, because maybe they're in the car, they stopped what they're doing and they're listening and they're like, okay, I got my pen now. What did John just say? We're not going to make them rewind. Let's give it to them one more time.
Sure. Contact@ybpoor.com, WHYBEPOOR.com.
Fantastic. And just tell them Adam from Mission Matters sent you. There you go. I'm in.
There we go.
Well, John, it's been great having you on here. Happy to bring you on to talk about your book. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Love for you to be a return viewer or listener. Definitely want to have more great guests just like John coming up for you. Have an awesome rest of your day.